So good morning. All right, a new look at M-O-N-E-Y.
Oh, good.
Yes, a new look, right? Our month, our new month, because we're kind of a new month, our theme this month is freedom through flow. Right? Okay. So what does that mean exactly? What does freedom through flow mean exactly? When we have a consistent, regular, abundant flow of prosperity in and through our lives, then we have the freedom to share our gifts with the world and to have, be, and do that which makes our hearts sing, all of which are God ordained, right? We all want our hearts to sing when we're doing what we love. Because here's the deal, if we're struggling just to make our ends meet, and trying to figure out how to get the rent paid or get groceries on the table or get the car repair bill paid, and there are some people that are facing that at this time. It's pretty darn challenging to have the time and energy to focus and live at the level of being totally immersed in spirit, right? To live at the level of our gifts with the world of having, being, and doing that which makes our heart sing. And that's all part of Maslow's hierarchy. You know, our basic needs must be met first before we can move into the other areas of our lives. So, what we realize at this point is that this is how life desires to express in and as us. When we reach that point, we realize that life is just bursting to express through us. Do you know anyone? I mean, it could be yourself, or you might just know of someone who is in a predicament right now. Someone who may be struggling with money, someone who may be having some struggles. And if you do, well, tell them to come here, because this is the place they want to be, especially these next couple of weeks, because Suzanne's got some fabulous things to say. And
That you wrote?
I'm sorry?
That you wrote?
Well, of course, but you know, but it's all, we're all one mind, right? And the thing is that what I'm going to speak about today will be online in a couple of weeks. So they've got a little time to get online and listen to that. So it's a good thing to review. Even if you're already where you want to be, it's a good thing to hear and to review. So let's take a survey of those of us who are here. How many wouldn't mind having more freedom to share your gifts with the world and to experience the freedom to have, be, and do that which makes your heart sing? Yeah? Okay, all of us. That's great. That was pretty easy. So I guess this really is an important topic. And what a beautiful opening to the month that we had last week. Who was here for the Taizé service last week? Was that amazing? That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? It really set the tone for this month in a very, very sacred way. So to begin today, this is fun. Yes. There's just a lot of money here. And I'm just doting on this money, right? Okay. So here's a rhetorical question. And you don't have to answer it, but how many of you might have felt a little uncomfortable with that? Probably not that many of us here, because we're all
happy.
Yeah, we are all very, very spiritual people, but there are those who would be, oh my gosh, they would be totally repulsed at seeing something like that. It would bother a lot of people to see that. And you would think, well, that's not, what are they doing that in church for? What, a minister? What is a minister fawning over a $20 bill? Oh my gosh, what is going on, you know? And so my question is, what if, rather than this stack of bills here, which, by the way, is going to go into the offering, what if my 3 darling grandchildren were to be doing the same thing? Have you ever seen a child get a card with money in it for their birthday? Have you ever seen what? Oh, and that's heartwarming, isn't it? It's really, there's a kind of a different standard when you're looking at children who are so thrilled of getting a $5 bill or a $10 bill or $20 and perhaps maybe a minister going nuts over a stack of 20s. So you would have thought that it would have been perhaps okay, that maybe it would be sweet. You might have been touched a little bit. Adorable children can get away with a lot of things, can't they? Yes, they can. They'll always touch our hearts. So why is there a difference? Why is there a difference between when a child does something like that and perhaps an adult? If we believe that it's all God, then this money is as much God as my granddaughters are. That same demonstration was done many years ago by Raymond Charles Barker. Now imagine, he lived a long time ago, and so beliefs and thoughts and this was a shocking concept to a lot of people back then. And if you haven't heard of Raymond Charles Barker, most of you have. He wrote an amazing book called The Power of Decision. It's actually a class that we've taught, and it is one of the best books that I have ever read. And he also wrote another book called Money is God in Action, to reveal some hidden beliefs about this thing that we call money, this energy that we call money. This God in action in the form of money. And I can say something that you might want to hear, but you know, there are some frank adverse reactions to what was going on, you know, with me doing this. Some people have had some issues with this. And if you do have an issue with that kind of thing, then I'm not thinking anybody here really is having that but you know, if you do, or some people are, you may know somebody who is, they're actually pushing away their good. It is actually a form of pushing away their good. So, you know, we can look at some of the thoughts that are out there, maybe in the universal consciousness. They are not something we subscribe to, but there are thoughts out there, and we've had people in class that have brought this up, and it's been an interesting discussion that we've had, you know, like when somebody's called, why do they call somebody filthy rich? Because they think money's dirty, you know. Oh, they're filthy rich. Well, that's an interesting thought, isn't it? Or, you know, we've all heard money is the root of all evil, but it's actually the love of money is the root of all evil. Well, or how about you can't be spiritual and wealthy? Our country was founded on that, the Puritan ethics. You know, oh, no, we must, because you can't have both. You can't have money and be spiritual. It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. Ooh. She must have stepped on a lot of people to get where she is. Really? Wow. Wow. We actually had a neighbor who spoke to a friend. She lived down the street from us, and we had friends, and we had moved into a brand new house, and we were putting in landscaping and a pool, and we happened to have traded in our car to get a van because we had 3 kids and they weren't all fitting in the back seat. And you know, all of this, it's like her comment to this other friend was, they must be selling drugs. Where would they get the money to pay for all this kind of stuff? What? But you know, it's interesting how people are very confined and stuck with where they are in their beliefs. We have all sorts of sayings and assumptions and beliefs like that, which can indicate a negative consciousness around abundance in the form of money. But money really is just energy. And when we give it a negative meaning, we push it away from us, and we push away our ability to have the freedom to share our gifts and to have, do, and be that which will make our hearts sing each and every day of our lives. So today, we're going to take a new look at money. One that makes us attractive to an abundant flow of prosperity, which in turn will give us the freedom to share our gifts with the world, and to have, be, and do that which makes our hearts sing, all of which, remember, are God ordained. We're going to align ourselves with the frequency of abundance by using a money mantra. 5 affirmative statements using the letters of the word money, which come from Mary Morrissey's Prosperity 2 course, which you folks are very familiar with. And I was inspired by it. I have to tell you, when someone on my minister's list asked for a suggestion on prosperity classes, this one came up over and over and over again, and they were fired up. So this is a class that I'm looking to teach this fall. Here are the categories, and each one has an affirmation to go with it. Okay, so we have mindset, O for opportunity awareness, N for network equals net worth, E for energy of calm confidence, and Y for yes. Okay, so first, M for mindset. What is your mindset about money, and is there a need for an adjustment? So, well, we can all take a look at what our beliefs are and what we're thinking internally, maybe a reaction or just a brief impulse or thought to, thought of somebody, holding and kissing money and that kind of thing. To realize that money is in itself something totally neutral. This is really nothing. We're the ones who give it meaning, don't we? This is really just a piece of paper with ink on it, right? Neither good nor bad, but thinking makes it so. William Shakespeare, right? So here's a question. Do you have a mindset that there is an ever-present flow that is available to you? An ever-present flow of money that is available to you? If not, well, that's another place for adjustment. The words of Dr. Joseph Murphy in The Power of the Subconscious Mind, he said, look at money like the tide, that you will always have plenty of it. The ebb and flow of the tide is constant. When the tide is out, you are absolutely sure that it will return, right?
I just read that last week. I had that book I told you I got. That's funny.
Yeah, there are no accidents, are there? No. When you're standing at the beach and the tide goes out, you know without a doubt that it is coming back in. And we stand on the beach when the tide is out. Do we cry and moan and worry and fret that the water didn't come back? No. That would be really kind of silly. But I know that we do this with the energy called money. Begin to shift that by being absolutely and totally grateful for the money that you have now, however much it is. However, when we start where we are, right where we are, that is the place of power. And whatever amount that you have, be grateful for that. Appreciate it as you spend it. Appreciate it, what it is doing. A recent note from the universe, aka Mike Dooley, said this: when you spend money, whether a little or a lot, wisely or not, do you celebrate that you're creating opportunities, dancing with life, exchanging energy, supporting economies, feeding families, lessening poverty consciousness, demonstrating courage, validating life, eradicating fear, inviting magic into your life, and lifting humanity higher into the light? I thought so. Let's pop some tags. The universe. I have to say, I watched my father work really hard at not spending any money ever because he's from the Depression era, and that is a goal for him. He does not want to release any of that. And I keep telling him, I go, Dad, when you do that, think about, you're going to buy a new car. Think about all the people you're going to help with that. And that does really help him. It does, because he does like to help people. So it's a process of getting him there. And here's the money mantra. I live in an abundant universe that delights in expressing its limitless supply through me. So let's say this together, but first, let's get into the power position. Are we familiar with the power position is? Okay, there's an actual, I sent this to my daughter who was going to be doing presentations in Florida, and she was very nervous because she'd never met these people who were in the marketing team, and I said, watch this, because you need to know. And I had read before that before an interview, if you stand like this, that you will be more confident in your interview. So this whole TED Talk is shoulders back, chin up, arms outstretched, or in an upward V. Okay, so this is our power position. So repeat after me. I live in an abundant universe.
I live in an abundant universe
that delights in expressing its limitless supply through me. All right, so O is for opportunity awareness. In his book, Prosperity, Charles Fillmore, who was founder of Unity, wrote, when you have asked for something, be on alert to receive it when it comes. People complain that their prayers are not answered when, if we knew the truth, they are not awake to receive the answer when it comes. If you ask for money, do not look for an angel from the skies to bring it on a golden platter, but keep your eyes open for some fresh opportunity to make money, an opportunity that will come as sure as you live. And that, is kind of what happened with Rich. When he retired, he was thinking, gee, it'd be nice to have some consulting work, something that I'd like to do that. And so he was aware and alert, and he created these relationships, and pretty soon they were asking, well, gosh, they realized his connections with government. He knew the ins and outs of that. Well, they were building theaters all over the place. He didn't have time to be in our area supporting this theater, and they asked him to do it. Wow, what an opportunity. But he had to be aware that there was this need, And he had to be open to creating these relationships. He didn't know when he became friends with them years ago. That was never his intention. So it was amazing. He was open and it was there. So here's the money mantra for that. I make welcome, attune to, and take action on any and all opportunities that come my way to increase the flow of abundance in my life. So let's do this. Let's shoulders back, our power position. I make welcome, attune to, and take action on any and all opportunities that come my way to increase the flow of abundance in my life. Okay, on to N. Your network equals your net worth. Who do you hang out with? Who do you hang out with? What are the conversations that you're having? What books are they reading? What things are they focusing on? Do you come to our book studies and our classes here? Do you join in our monthly meetings with our Happiness Whisperer? Or back in Las Vegas, I don't know what they offer there, but yeah, I'm sure they have the similar offerings. Do you attend spiritual movie nights? Here's the money mantra for that. I surround myself with people who delight in the freedom that money represents, who are generous givers as well as grateful receivers, and who continually embrace the flow of abundance in their lives. So here we go, power position. I surround myself with people who delight in the freedom that money represents, who are generous givers, as well as grateful receivers, and who continually embrace the flow of abundance in their lives. All right, next on to E, energy of calm confidence. To me, what? Oh, no, sorry. Okay. To me, this is a restatement of the mindset. Where are we in consciousness? Are we nervous and negative about the flow of good in our lives, or calm and confident about it? Do we realize that the tide will flow out, but will also flow back in? What is our attitude when an unexpected expense comes up? Dread and hand-wringing? Oh no, how am I going to get this paid? Not one more bill. I have a wild idea that I want to toss around here, but first a question. How do you respond when you receive unexpected good? What do you do? Yeah, woohoo! Yeah, excited. Wow, a check in the mail I wasn't expecting. Yay, right? Well, just what if, when an unexpected expense comes in, you reacted in the same way? Woohoo! Yeah! I have the opportunity to expand my abundance consciousness. I have the opportunity to take a greater trust walk. What is it you always say, Suzanne? It's amazing. I love it. When you get a bill, it's amazing. She'll get this bill and she'll, wow, I wonder what's coming my way that's going to take over this, and it's going to be even more.
Right.
And it happens time and time again. Something happens, something even better comes in. It's just
sometimes I'll get extra money and then I'll get the bill and I'll say, the universe, instead of being angry about getting the bill, I'll be happy the universe knew I needed the extra money, so they sent it ahead of time.
Ahead of time. Yeah. That is a great way to do that. That's amazing. I have the opportunity to know that I know that God is my source. God is my source. Okay, that might be going out a little bit far, but I think it's a good practice. I really do. So if you can't do that, how about this attitude? I am so excited to see how God is going to work this out. I'm so excited to see how's God going to fix this one? This should be fun. Yeah, that's a good reminder. Actually, that's one of my favorites that you say. So in A Treatment for Peace of Mind in the Science of Mind textbook, Holmes speaks to this calm confidence when he writes, "There is no uncertainty about my future and no fear as a result of my past. I live in an eternal now which is filled with good alone. Goodness and beauty follow me. Peace and joy accompany me. Happiness and wholeness fill my entire being with the realization of love and perfection." Here's the money mantra for the idea of having an energy of calm confidence. I recognize that money flows to me easily and effortlessly, and I move through my day with calm confidence, knowing that this is so. So, here we go. Power position. I recognize that money flows to me.
I recognize that money flows to me
Easily and effortlessly.
easily and effortlessly.
And I move through my day
And I move through my day
with calm confidence.
with calm confidence,
Knowing this is so.
knowing this is so.
And finally, why? For yes. This is about discernment. About saying yes to those ideas, conversations, and activities that support and serve your expansion and the flow of good in your life. Where are you spending your time? Do you do something every day to move you toward greater livingness? Your calendar reflects the priorities in your life. The money mantra is, I say yes only to those things that lead to greater expansion, flow, and abundance in my life. Power position and repeat. I say yes only to those things
I say yes only to those things
that lead to a greater expansion, flow, and abundance.
Greater
Expansion, flow, and abundance
flow and abundance
in my life.
in my life.
Sir Francis Bacon once said, money is a good servant, but a bad master. We are absolutely not talking about making money our God, but rather putting money into service for God's work. When we have a new look at the money in the way that we have done today, we make it a very good and faithful servant indeed. And that servant gives us the freedom to share our gifts with the world. It's just a tool. That's all it is. And it allows us to have and be and do what makes our hearts sing. So let's do a power position on steroids. Let's stand up and repeat after me as we say our closing prayer. And we're going to do this together. I live in an abundant universe
I live in an abundant universe
that delights in expressing
that delights in expressing
its limitless supply through me.
this limitless supply through me.
I make welcome,
I make welcome,
attune to,
attune to,
and take action on
and take action on
any and all opportunities
any and all opportunities
that come my way
that come my way
to increase the flow
to increase the flow
of abundance in my
of
life.
abundance in my life.
I surround myself with people
I surround myself with people
who delight in the freedom that money represents,
that delight in the freedom that money represents,
who are generous givers
who are generous givers
as well as grateful receivers,
as well as grateful receivers,
and who continually embrace
and who continually embrace
the flow of abundance in their lives.
the flow of abundance in their lives.
I recognize that money flows to me
I recognize that money flows to me
easily and effortlessly,
easily and effortlessly,
and I move through my day
and I move through my day
with calm confidence,
with calm confidence,
knowing this is so.
knowing this is so.
I say yes to those things
I say yes to those things
that lead to greater expression,
lead to greater expression,
expansion,
expansion,
flow, and abundance
flow and abundance
in my life.
in my life.
And so it is, and so we let it be. All right.